Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Gadigal people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Joni Jones, it's Wednesday, June the 7th. In Squiz Kids Today, the new plan to save our seas, swimming in the Seine, a moose stops traffic, and sniffing out online scams. That's what's making news kid style.
The lowdown.
As Bryce mentioned on Monday, it was World Environment Day. Australia's Environment and Water Minister, Tanya Plibersek, she's the politician who is responsible for big decisions about those things, has used this occasion to make some very important announcements. Ms Plibersek has declared that 385,000 square kilometres of ocean, that's larger than the whole country of Germany, will become a high protection area. That's so exciting because it means that no fishing, mining or other damaging activities can happen there. The area is called Macquarie Island Marine Park, and it's halfway between Tassie and Antarctica. It's a bit of a wonderland as it's home to species that are not found anywhere else in the world, like royal penguins, rockhopper penguins, and some very cute fur and elephant seals. Meanwhile, up north, off the Queensland coast, gill nets are set to be banned from the Great Barrier Reef. Gill nets are long stretches of netting that have holes large enough for a fish's head to fit through, but not their body. That means their gills become entangled and they get stuck. It's a really effective way to fish, but sadly, other marine creatures also get stuck and injured. Dugongs, turtles, dolphins and sharks are sometimes unintentionally caught. The banning means the fish populations will increase, meaning more food and less danger for all the other marine creatures. How great is that?
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in, ooh la la, Paris in France. Home of the Eiffel Tower, delicious croissants and baguettes. And do you know the name of the river that flows through the city? It's called the Seine. And the Seine is absolutely stunning from afar, meandering through the historical districts of Paris, but close up, it's a bit yucky. The water is polluted with waste. You'd most likely get an ear infection if you dived in. The reason is because every time there is a huge rainfall in Paris, all of the street drains run into the river, flowing any rubbish straight into the water too. Even things like rusty bikes get picked out of the Seine. So Project Keep Paris Water Clean has begun, with the government pouring billions into building an enormous underground water tank. In fact, the size of 30 Olympic pools. This will capture the street's rain overflow instead of it going into the Seine. The dream is for the river to be clean enough to swim in during the Olympics, just a little over 1 year away.
Animal Kingdom.
In Canada, drivers on a busy highway were at a standstill because a mum and baby moose trotted into the traffic. Clearly, the mum moose had done this before. She easily jumped over the highway divider and was heading straight into the trees on the other side. But when she turned around, she realised her baby calf was stuck on the other side of the barrier, either unable or too scared to jump over it. All the drivers stopped to watch, and some took video, which I'll put a link in your episode notes, as the mother moose then proceeded to jump back and forth over the barrier to show her calf how it's done. In the end, it was all too hard for the calf, and the pair just vamoosed back in the direction they came.
Newshounds.
Every Wednesday, Squizzy the Newshound sticks his snout into Squiz Kids HQ to report back on fishy things he's sniffed out on the internet. And today his nose is twitching after coming across a scam on Facebook where kind people are being duped into sharing suspicious content. Basically, there is a fake account that appears to be a kind-hearted woman who has come across lost vintage photographs. She is asking for everyone to share her link in the hope that someone might recognise these photos and be happily reunited with them. But instead, when the unsuspecting people do share her story, they are actually sending dodgy links to all their friends in their account. It's a scam that is designed to reach as many people as possible. You think you're helping a stranger by forwarding on their story, however, you end up sending suspicious content to everyone you know. It's another timely reminder to always do as Squizzy the Newshound says, and that's to stop, think, and check every time we come across a piece of content online. Because it's super important to not always believe everything we see, read, or hear. And if your classroom is not yet among the 1,200 around the country that have signed up to Newshounds, our very own free media literacy program for primary school kids, then head on over to squizkids.com.au and get involved.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. I mentioned 2 species of penguins, only found in the Macquarie Island Marine Park. Can you name either of them? You could have said royal penguins or rockhopper penguins. Question 2. What is the name of the main river that runs through Paris? Of course, it's called the Seine. And question 3. What native animal held up traffic when the pair trotted onto a highway in Canada? A moose, of course.
Shout outs.
It's June 7, and what a great day it is because it's National Chocolate Ice Cream Day in the US. Apparently, chocolate is the most popular of all the flavours, so it deserves its own celebration. It's also a special day for these Squiz kids celebrating a birthday today. Chloe from Engadine, Indiana from Ruse, Alexander from Borkham Hills, Rose from Geelong, Alex and Jody from Andrews Farm, Maxim from Hunters Hill, Dot from Gladesville, Sigma from Carlingford, Alila from Burpengary, Ivy from Pitttown, Addison from Fig Tree Pocket, and Skylar listening all the way over in Paris. And not forgetting a special birthday shout out to Florence in Bondi. Belated shout outs go to Ben from Goulburn, Ivy from New South Wales, Magnus from Kooringal, Finn from Yass, Sam from Akusha, and Sean from Hendra. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Year 5 with Mrs. Few at Yarrawonga College, Miss Parker and Mr. Ash's class at Oran Park Public School, Room 14 with Miss Irvine at Anzac Terrace Primary School in Bassendean, Class 6F and Miss Peterson at Casino Public School, Class 3F and Mr. Finn at Holsworthy Public School, Class 1H with Miss Hassenkamp and 3S with Mrs. Sutton, both at Blaney Public School. And lastly to Class 5-6 All-Stars and Mrs. Lenham at Ball Blair Public School in Guyra. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and if you want a shout out or if you want a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. That's all we've got time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have the most excellent day. Over and out.